Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back. Just a little recap of where we left off with the last video. Was pretty much just me dismantling the interior of this car, pretty much going full race car with it, and make a full commitment, even though there was no going back as it was. So that's why we kind of gutted this interior. Only going to be using what's necessary for this project and stuff like that. So like I said, where we left off with the last video, we cut out the speaker and cubby housing. That pretty much left us at the point of pulling the dashboard so we could get rid of everything else that's back there. That was pretty much the only thing that was tying me up from getting the entire harness out, because that ran through the firewall from the engine bay and ran all along the dash. So that's pretty much what we were left at. And I'll show you guys this whole dash. If you look, I mean, this is clipped in, but this whole dash plastic, nothing's really bolted up right now. But we got rid of everything that's back there. And if you guys see, I kind of started playing around with the wiring for the swap kit. And if you guys look, we got our gas pedal installed. I'll be showing you guys that. And we also got, I don't know if you guys can see it up underneath there, but that is our new PCM. So we got a gas pedal and new PCM mounted in. The next thing's going to be this little like PDC. This just holds the fuses and relays. This is pretty much just like the fuse block of the entire swap kit, which is kind of nice because all you do is plug and play. So I'm going to show you guys everything real quick and pretty much just take it from there. Alright guys, so this is a drive-by wire gas pedal that comes with the Mopar standalone kit. This is needed because it is all electronically controlled throttle body, all of that. So you need this pedal just to make it work. And if you guys look, these two studs right here is where the factory gas pedal would be. And so we were able to use the lower one that's already factory to pretty much get this whole pedal assembly spaced out properly. And then up top up here, we just ended up drilling 2 holes through the firewall and putting nuts through, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys look, it's fairly straightforward just to get this gas pedal in there. The only downside is the spacing is good, but this pedal is sitting a little bit higher than I would like. So I mean, I wish it was sitting something more like that. Maybe I can try to space this out, these upper mounting holes, to kind of pivot this whole assembly downward a little bit. You know, right now it actually sits pretty flush against the firewall, so that's kind of helping it be sturdy and stay in place. So if I were to shim it out, it wouldn't be as sturdy as it was, but we have a gas pedal installed, which is pretty cool. Let me go show you guys what I did with the PCM over there. Now we are on the passenger side of the car, and if you guys look, this is my Mopar Performance standalone PCM for this swap, and this is the harness that comes with it. So I mean, this is up underneath the passenger dash. Underneath this was actually a big hole for the HVAC fresh air inlet. So I pretty much just had this PCM, and I was trying to figure out where I can put it that would sit relatively flat. I really wanted to put it down here. I think it looked clean down here. The only issues were, I seen when they make cages, they utilize this space down here to weld the cage in. So I didn't want to do that, and it was also a little bit too far away from the actual engine harness. So that means I would have had to like lengthen wires and all of that. So I ended up mounting it up here. Same thing, pretty much just drilled a couple holes and fished some bolts through, and that's about it. And the good part about this being mounted here is pretty much in this general area is where the engine harness is. So today's project is going to be drilling a hole in this firewall so we can get the the PCM connector for the engine harness and this inline body for the engine harness inside the car, and all connected up. Now I did find on Summit Racing, as far as like firewall grommets go, They make all of these like universal sizes, so you drill the hole pretty much as big as you need it, and and then you could just punch out the size grommet that you want for the wires. So that's pretty cool. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and figure out what grommet we need, and pretty much take it from there. All right, so if you guys see, I kind of just did some test holes. That's like 2 inch, 2 1/8, and 2 1/2. Just trying to figure out, so we need to get both these connectors through, and PCM's right here. So this nice flat spot right here is where we need to get these wires through, so they can also come up and connect to the PCM. I was thinking about using like bulkhead connectors. This way I could just unplug and plug in if I needed to. But I think that's too much work for as simple as this would be, especially now that I found the seals it grommets, whatever they are. So this is where I can cut a hole as big as I need, fish the whole connector through, and then just cut the actual grommet size to these wires, and it would still look clean, and it would be easy to disconnect and just pull these wires straight out the firewall. So essentially we're going to be drilling, the only one that fits pretty good is a 2 1/2 inch hole. So we're going to be drilling a 2 1/2 inch hole through here, running these wires through, but at that point this whole engine bay harness will be all routed through and plugged in. And I'm really trying to get this thing to crank over, not start yet because we don't have fuel to it, but I want to be able to like push the button and have this thing cranking over. So I mean, that's pretty much today's plan. I do plan on redoing these motor mounts. I did just learn recently that LS swap motor mount plates are the exact same, so we ordered new plates, and instead of using this funky design, I kind of want to just use a single pipe that comes down and sits into like a little bracket. This way I can use like a poly bushing, and I think that would also look cleaner and would also free up some room for headers when that time comes. So for right now I am going to figure out where I'm drilling this hole, and I'll get back to you. All right, so you guys pretty much see, nice big hole in the firewall. And now you guys see we could fit this whole harness through. And I mean that seals it kit will pretty much just bolt around this hole. And like I said, you just punch a hole of the size of this. You could still fish the harness through that because that'll expand, but once I get back down to the wires, it'll hug these wires tight again, making it like a good weatherproof seal. And we also got lucky for the ground. There's actually a little stud right here that we can use. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go, hopefully that gives me enough to reach.
I mean, now, once you get it in place, it should be good.
I mean, I don't want to shove this on there too bad. This is the harness that came with it, so you kind of see this this whole connector's kind of ruined. But I just want to see it. There you go. I'm not going to shove it on all the way, and then this one will go like that. Boom. And then these two, same thing. This connector is also ruined, but you see this pretty much just same thing, that'll connect. And that's pretty much it. So I got to figure out this grommet that I have to get, but that'll actually look pretty clean when it's all said and done. And that's pretty cool. So I think the next thing, we got to figure out where we're mounting this bad boy. Like I said before, it's kind of just like the fuse block, and it's pretty much just the junction block for everything. You guys see all of this runs off PCM. So you got fuel pump control, cooling fan, starter solenoid, ignition, all that good stuff. So, and the best part is it's all plug and play. All you got to do is hook up battery voltage, and that's pretty much it. So once we figure out where I'm gonna mount this, there's a couple wires over here. I think these are yeah, so these are my ignition wires right here. So instead of wiring it up to an actual key switch, when the time comes, we're going to be building pretty much where the radio was, or where this cubby was, just a big switch panel. Pretty much it. That's how you drill a big hole in a firewall. Alright guys, so if you look, I took this the plastic dash padding off, and I ordered the seals at Grommet for this, and the tool kits. We could punch the right size hole for the wires to stick through. So hopefully that'll be here sometime this week. But so the PCM is good, the gas pedal's good. That pretty much leaves us with this thing, and I'm thinking about putting it right here where it sits. And instead of drilling holes and running bolts through, since the trans is like right underneath that, I kind of want to, so pretty much something like that, because it doesn't sit perfectly level. I'm thinking about just welding 4 bolts to this, and I think that's what we're going to do. And I think that's where we're going to mount it, because these connectors actually will go pretty good with where the wire harness is already. And I was going to also try to make a plate so this thing would be hidden underneath where the airbag used to be, and if I had to get it, all I'd have to do is pop that panel off. But again, when it comes to a roll cage, I don't know if they keep this stock bar or what they do, so I don't want to do anything to this, just in case when that time comes. Alright guys, so we ran out and we got some hardware. So essentially this is all it's going to be, and we're going to tack these bolts in place, and this way we just have studs to slide this on and zip down some nuts, and this thing will be home. So right now I'm going to grind off some spots so I can get ready to weld these things in place. So we got our 4 spots ground down, and we got our trusty Harbor Freight welder. So we are going to fire this up, and with this like this, just get underneath and tack them in spots. And once they're good, we're going to take the whole thing off and do the whole bolt all the way around. Alright, so I didn't want to stay onto it too long and end up melting that plastic on there. So these things are barely in there, but at least we know where they need to be. So now we can actually finish trying to do these things all the way up. But mind you, this Harbor Freight welder, no gas. All we're doing is giving it our best. Alright guys, so pretty much got these as welded as I think I would need. I didn't really go all the way around, probably like 3/4. But don't judge the welds. Overall, I mean, this thing's not going anywhere, and it's not structural. So cleaned things up, welded it, cleaned it up, boom, and installed. All right guys, so I got these seals at Grommets in, and this is pretty much what it looks like when you get it. Now they make these in all different sizes. This is like a 3-inch overall size, and it's also cone shaped, which I think works good for wires. They also, this is just like a flat style one. You see I punched a hole in it, and I also cut it. They do make split grommets. This way, if you don't want to have to like depin wires, you can just take this and literally loop it around it, and you'll have like the same concept. But this one I just ended up cutting myself, because I'm going to use this on the back side, inside of the firewall for the harness. So if you guys look, this is the one that's going to be going through the firewall, and this nice little lip from the cone shape gives you something that you can tape up. Once everything's in its final place, you can tape it up and have like a nice looking and also weatherproof seal. And believe it or not, this little hole, we were able to fit this whole PCM connector through it. But unfortunately I had to de-pin this one and fish just the individual wires through. But I mean, once that's in, we're gonna go in there, and this will be on the inside of the firewall. So I wanted to split this one. This way, when everything's all said and done and in there, we can bolt these two together like that and have a weatherproof and nice looking seals. Definitely recommend getting this kit, even though they sell ones, you know, with pre-punched holes in different sizes. If you're not sure about what size you'll need, I would definitely spend the extra 30 bucks on this, because it comes with all these different punches. And I mean, all it is pretty much a punch and a driver, and it cuts a perfect circle in the seal. And the reason that this is good, let's just say you were to cut it with like a box cutter and you had one little nick in it. When you were going to go spread that open, where that little nick is just going to split that seal and pretty much ruin it. So for an extra 30 bucks, this toolkit is definitely recommended. This is the last thing I want to show you guys. This is actually a Craftsman toolbox draw, and you see I cut a couple shapes out of it just to use the metal, because I wanted metal that was like thin and easy to work with, and I just happen to have an old toolbox laying around. So I'm gonna go take you in the car real quick and show you what I use this for. If you guys check it out, this was where my radio used to be, and now I have a Craftsman toolbox metal switch panel ready. Obviously there's no switches, but came out pretty clean. I didn't even have to paint it because the thing was already painted, so as long as I didn't scratch it while I was working with it, it actually looks pretty good already. So I just want to show you guys what it looks like on the back side. So you saw we cut two pieces out. Obviously the first one didn't go that well, but once we had an idea of what we needed to cut and shape, this is pretty much what we came up with. So you see these four screws. These four screws are where the radio used to like screw into, so we utilized these so they could stay in place. And it was pretty much just shaping it to the rectangle shape that's in here. Not anything too complicated. And this way, when time comes and we do put our switches in, we have a nice panel made already, and we have room on this back side so we can actually run wires and stuff like that. But overall, I think it came out pretty good. I was gonna do this in here, but I want to keep this for the time being in case I got to put, like, you know, my wallet or something like that in there. But pretty happy with how this came out. Definitely happy with the fitment of it. I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about the intro. I felt like I was due to make some sort of intro for my videos, just show you guys what I'm all about. And also from that, I definitely want to start making content other than just this Nissan, because this is like a really slow project, just for the funds and time and all that fun stuff. So I do want to start making videos about my Jeep, about the street bike that I got, and the dirt bike, and pretty much just everything that I do. So drop a comment below, let me know what you guys think. And again, I appreciate you guys watching, and just stay tuned for the next video.